Okay, so imagine this. You want to mine Bitcoin, but like without all the crazy computers and tech stuff.
Without all the headaches, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if you could just gamble on it instead?
Gamble on Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, that's the idea we're diving into today. It's called Catch the Block. It's from NiceHash.
Okay, I've heard of NiceHash.
Yeah, they're like a marketplace for miners, right? And this is like a whole new spin on it.
So how's the gambling part work?
Well, our main source for this deep dive is this YouTuber, the Hobbyist Miner. He actually tried it out himself, so we get to see how it all goes down.
Oh, cool. So like a first-hand account?
Exactly, and he explains it really well. So NiceHash is like this marketplace for hash power.
Hash power, that's the computing power for mining.
Right, exactly, like the processing muscle you need to solve those Bitcoin math problems.
So instead of setting up your own rig, you're basically buying into someone else's.
Right. You're renting their computer power for a chance to win a block.
And that's catch the block.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not joining a pool or anything, you're going solo. You pick a package of hash power, and each package has a different chance of winning.
So it's more like taking a gamble than the slow and steady mining we're used to.
Yeah, much more high risk, high reward.
I like it. So what kind of packages are we talking about?
So the Hobbyist Miner, he tried out a few different ones. He wanted to see how they all worked.
Smart move. Got to test the waters.
Yeah, he bought the small Silver S package that was only like $2 in Bitcoin.
Okay, so low risk, just to see what happens.
Exactly. And then he also went for the Silver L, which was around $203.
So a bigger gamble with potentially a bigger payout.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Did he win anything?
He did. And get this, he actually won TWO blocks on that Silver L package.
No way.
Yeah, turned his $203 into over $1,500.
Wow, that's impressive. So it really is possible to win big.
Right, but he also had other packages where he didn't win anything. So,
Yeah,
it's still a gamble.
Of course, there's always that risk.
But just seeing him win those 2 blocks, it just like makes it all feel real,
Yeah, the possibility is definitely there.
Okay, so I've got a question though about the actual winning part.
Shoot.
So he mentioned this confirmation process, like even when you win, you don't get the Bitcoin right away.
Right. I think that's standard with mining. Got to make sure everything's legit.
But how long does that take?
That's a good question.
Ah.
I'm curious about that too, and what happens in the meantime.
Yeah, like are you just watching and waiting? Is it nerve-wracking?
All right, so we know catch the block is this mix of mining and gambling. We've seen the potential, the risks, but what I want to know is how do you actually choose a package?
Yeah, like is there any strategy involved or is it all just luck?
And what about the psychology of it all? Watching those results come in, seeing how close you are to winning or losing.
I bet that's got to be intense. All right, so let's dive deeper into the Hobbyist Miner's experience and see what we can learn. So let's break down these catch the block packages. There are a few to choose from.
Yeah, he mentioned a Silver S and a Silver L. What else is there?
So you got your Silver S and Gold S and Silver L and Gold L.
Okay, so 2 sizes and like tiers within each size.
Right. And the prices are pretty different too. So like what's the thought process when you're picking one?
Well, I'm thinking risk versus reward, right?
For sure.
If you're just dipping your toes in those smaller packages are tempting. Like the Silver S, he said, was only like $2.
Yeah, like a lottery ticket, basically.
Exactly. You're not risking much, but the potential payout is smaller too.
Right, but then you've got that Gold S, also around $2, but with a possible payout of $125,000.
Whoa, hold on. $125,000 from a $2 package.
Yeah, those are the kind of numbers that make you want to take a chance.
Of course, the odds are probably like winning the actual lottery.
Haha, probably. But still, it's tempting, right?
Super tempting.
Yeah.
But then there are those bigger packages, the Silver L and Gold L.
Yeah, those are pricier, right around $203 each.
Okay, so with those, you're putting down more cash up front.
But the potential payouts are still pretty good, just not as crazy as that Gold S.
So it's like a classic risk-reward scenario. Do you go for the long shot or play it a bit safer?
I think that's what makes this whole thing so interesting. There's no one right way to do it.
It all depends on your own personal risk tolerance and how much you're willing to put in.
Exactly, and that's probably why they have so many options, right? They're trying to attract all kinds of people.
From the casual gambler to the more serious investor.
Makes sense, but I gotta say, the psychology of this whole thing is fascinating to me.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Just watching those results come in, knowing you could win or lose a bunch of money.
And remember, he showed the whole process in his video, like real-time results.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You can practically feel the tension building as he gets closer to a win or, a loss.
I bet that makes the wins even sweeter, though, right?
Oh, for sure. Like, it's not just about the money, it's the thrill of the gamble.
Exactly. They've gamified Bitcoin mining.
And I think that's a brilliant move. It opens it up to a whole new audience.
People who might have been intimidated by the whole technical side of mining.
Yeah, exactly. It's more approachable and kind of exciting.
But it does make you wonder about the bigger picture, right?
Like, is this sustainable in the long run?
Is it just a fad, or is this something that could actually change the way we think about mining?
Those are the million-dollar questions.
And what about the risks?
Yeah, we've talked about the potential rewards,
Mm.
but what are the downsides people need to be aware of?
Okay, so let's get into that, because it's easy to get caught up in the hype, but we got to be realistic too. So we've seen the fun side of Catch the Block, the potential for big wins, but let's talk about the not so fun part.
Yeah, the risks.
What are people really getting into here?
Well, I mean, it's gambling, right? So you could lose your money.
That's the first rule of gambling.
Exactly.
Er,
And even though the buy-in for some packages is low, like a couple bucks,
It can add up,
if you get carried away, yeah, you could end up spending more than you intended.
and there's no guarantee you'll win anything, right?
Nope, it's all probability. You could play 100 times and never hit a block.
Or you could hit one on your first try.
Exactly. That's the nature of gambling.
And then there's the whole Bitcoin factor to consider.
Oh, right. The price of Bitcoin itself can go up or down like crazy,
So you could win a block today and it could be worth way less tomorrow.
or way more.
True. But that volatility adds another layer of risk.
Definitely something to keep in mind.
It makes you wonder about the whole future of this catch the block thing.
Like, is this just a trend, or is it here to stay?
Could it change the way people mine Bitcoin?
It's hard to say. It's definitely a new approach. It's exciting. It's attracting new people.
But traditional mining isn't going anywhere, right?
Probably not. It's
Yeah.
got its own advantages.
It's like we're seeing two different philosophies clashing.
The old school miners versus the new wave gamblers.
And who knows, maybe they'll eventually meet somewhere in the middle.
Some kind of hybrid system that combines the best of both worlds.
The future of mining, that's a whole other deep dive.
Haha. We'll have to save that for another episode.
But okay, so for someone listening right now who's like, hey, catch the block sounds kind of cool and want to try it, what should they do?
Well, first I'd say check out the Hobbyist Miner's video. He explains everything really clearly.
And he actually shows you how it works step by step.
Yeah, you can see the whole process from picking a package to watching the results.
Perfect for visual learners.
Then, of course, you can head over to NiceHash and explore the platform for yourself.
See the different packages, the prices,
Yeah.
the potential payouts.
And maybe dip your toes in with a small investment just to get a feel for it.
Don't go all in right away.
No, be smart about it. Start small. See how it goes.
So to wrap up our Catch the Block deep dive, what's the one big takeaway?
I think it's this: be aware of the risks, but don't be afraid to explore new things.
This is the cutting edge of the crypto world, right? Things are changing fast.
And sometimes you got to take a chance to see what's out there.
Exactly. So be informed, be cautious, but most importantly, be curious.
That's what this is all about, right?
Learning, exploring, pushing boundaries, and maybe even having some fun along the way.
Absolutely.
Well, that's it for this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today.
From mining to gambling to the future of Bitcoin.
It's a wild world out there, folks, and we're just scratching the surface.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
See ya!